Hey Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet, going a bit lo-fi today. It's been a couple of days since we lost to Nottingham Forest, and I've seen Ange's press conferences for the upcoming Wolves game, which I'm a bit nervous about, to be honest. Nothing to do with Ange, we're just the walking wounded at the moment. Now look, in the immediate aftermath of Nottingham Forest, and it was kind of after I did my review, it was buzzing around in my mind. It was like doubts, not to do with Ange at all really, but really sort of thinking, you know what, maybe we do need to change the way we play a bit, you know, thinking perhaps without any logical reason behind this. You know, maybe if we change our play a bit, maybe that 1-0 against Nottingham Forest would have been a 1-1 or a 0-0 or something like that. You know, I'm almost getting brainwashed myself by this orthodoxy out there that there is a pragmatic way to play. You know, especially, you know, we got players injured, and it was a selfish motivation as well on my part. It was like, I'm fed up with bloody losing all the time. I just want to win a game, as if, like I say, there is some magic way of doing that. But after driving around in the car a bit, which is often quite meditative, and if there's wind blowing, not a lot I can do about that today, I haven't got my microphone. Although, no, bollocks to it. We'll keep going the way we are, thank you very much. Now, it's not like Ange is not going to make any adjustments to his play at all. Considering we've got absolutely no centre-backs available apart from Alfie Dorrington, I think. Yves Bissouma filling in on the weekend. Of course there's going to be a bit of adjustment made, but the overall approach, the philosophy of attack first, I think that is sound, and I think we should definitely stick at that. Another thing I think I was considering was, well, if we've got bugger all defenders, do we really want the ball to be in that area of the pitch for 90 minutes? Do we really want to play this mysterious, pragmatic football that guarantees you results and park the bus? Stop the planes! Park the bus. Which means the ball is right near the people that are playing in positions that they ain't suited to. Maybe it would be a little bit wiser to get the ball up the other end of the pitch where our better players are, or people that are playing in their more natural positions. That makes sense to me. I mean, parking the bus when you've got defenders that it's not second nature to do, I think is absolutely ridiculous. And look, I'm not saying we are necessarily going to win games by continuing to go all out attack. In fact, like I said in my review, I think this still stands true. We are in a bad way at Tottenham. We really are struggling. I mean, you know, players like, Kulusevski, he looks done, man. He looks done. He's been playing so many minutes. This isn't a fault on Kulu at all. He's been trying his bloody hardest, but you can see he's getting tired, and understandably so. And I think the same applies to Son Heung-min. You know, people are reading into it, he's past it and all that. It's like, well, look, if Kulu, I think it's 22, is reaching that stage, is it any surprise that Son is too? And I think we've got to cut our players some slack, and I think we've got to cut Ange some slack. And of course, the usual customers on the internet have been using this as a reason, as an excuse to go full salvo attack on Ange Postecoglou, a man they never supported from the beginning. And I don't understand this, right? If you are a Levy out person, if you are wanting him and gone from the club, I don't understand why you're so against Ange Postecoglou. Because I remember when Conte was in, I remember people saying, hey look, you can't be Conte out and Levy out, you've got to support Conte. And I'm thinking, well, what's the difference? What's the difference? I mean, I'll draw a long bow for you. It could be, Ange what? I never heard of him. He's managed where? Scotland, Australia, he's Australian. What's he know about football? Why has Levy appointed him? Oh, hang on, I've got my Alex Jones head on again. It must be a conspiracy. Levy's appointed a yes man. Well, I think the truth of it was no one wanted a bloody job and Ange was available, and luckily Ange is one of the best coaches in the world, and I stand by that every day now. I think we're very lucky to have Ange at Spurs, especially in this regime of no one being able to play. And I think people maybe casting aspersions. Oh, is it the style of play? Is it the style of play? Is it the training regime? Ange has said that there's attrition with players. He's injuring our players. It's like when he's talking about that, he's talking about maybe 1, 2 or 3. He's not talking about 9, 10 or 11. So unless there's something particularly fragile about Premier League players, I don't think that holds water either. I don't see why a player in Japan or Scotland would be less injury prone to the same training regime that is now employed at Spurs. And of course they would adapt it to take into account people's fitness. So as usual, I hear a lot of noise. I hear a lot of people making hay while the sun shines, capitalising on our bad way, our run of poor form, to bolster their own points of view. And in my view, it's quite false. It makes no sense. Just see how long I've been talking here. 6 minutes. We can go a little bit more. I've got something else to talk about as well. It's nonsense. And I think especially in a time like this where we are in a bad way, and I don't think results are really going to turn around in the foreseeable future through no fault of the players, through no fault of the manager. That's just the way it is. I would have thought it would be a great time to support the team, support the manager, and also this puts a bit of pressure on Daniel Levy and Enoch, doesn't it? We're not looking for a Conte style $150 million player to come in. Ange's needs are a lot more modest than that, and if the board don't back Ange in the January transfer window, then hey, you got even more ammo for your case. Ange doesn't want all these expensive players, he just wants a couple of talented prospects, and Levy can't even do that. Therefore, get rid of him. I mean, doesn't that make much more sense than having a manager, hello birdie, having a manager that wants the moon on a stick and he don't get it? I mean, yeah, there's an argument there, but it's not as strong as when you've got a manager that is a bit more meagre, because he knows he can coach players to be much better than they appear to be, or grow them for the future. Wonderful, you can't beat a bit of nature. Just one more thing, as Columbo would say. Now, I did finally watch the clip of Johnny being on Sean Butler's Spurs talk show. And I came up briefly, I skimmed through it because I wanted to see what they said about me, of course. And I found it to be very strange, because there's Johnny saying, I don't know why he's coming after me, I've never talked to him, I've never had a conversation with him, implying that I must be some sort of weirdo nutcase for just picking on him out of the blue. And Sean didn't say anything. He said, oh yeah, hippies on about peace and love. I love you, Paul. You're on about peace and love. Why are you doing this? We've got to be a community and all this sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, but Sean, why don't you pull him up on the fact that we have had a chat, a bit of a set two even, on your channel? It's your 8th most viewed stream. You even went to the trouble of calling it Heated Debate just to get a few more viewers in. Hey, that's the YouTube game. I don't begrudge that. So thank you for the invite, Sean, and I understand why you obviously want me back on your channel, because as I said, it was your 8th most viewed stream that you clearly forgot. Maybe it was just AI, I don't know, but I'll have to decline your kind invitation, because I think the cards, as they were last time I was on your channel, might be stacked a little bit against me. So good luck with your channel, Sean. I'm just going to be over here doing my own thing. It's a weird fucking thing to say, in my opinion, and it's not just Johnny that's come out with this line before, it's Stel. When I had a conversation with Stel once, he said, I don't know you, I've never heard of you, who are you? And then I played him the clip of him calling me an LSD taking tree hugging hippie, a loser, a degenerate, and then his mate said, that's when his mate said, oh, he chews leaves, and then another one said, yeah, I'd run over him in a car. It's weird. I think it's some sort of weird Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson style of crap psychology where Oh, if I don't acknowledge the other person, then obviously I have a higher status. If I lower myself to say that I've even talked to them, that raises them up a bit to my level. Hey man, weird. What can you do? Like I say, it would have been more sense to me to say, he's had it in for me since I was on your channels, Sean. But no, they just went the obscure route. And of course, it's nothing to do with that anyway. It's the racist tweets that I've got a problem with. Anyway, peace and love, man, and come on you Spurs.